In this video, we are talking about the three most common ways that we avoid our feelings according to David R. Hawkins. And I will be going over the technique that David R. Hawkins suggests. I'll give you a hint. It's about letting go. Most people are never taught how to truly process their emotions. We develop habits that numb, bury, or disguise what we feel. These habits may bring short-term relief, but they keep the pain locked in the body. Awareness is the first step to breaking free from these cycles. The first common way that we avoid our feelings is through suppression and repression. So it means pushing down your feelings. Suppression is consciously deciding to avoid your feelings, while repression is unconsciously having these feelings buried deep inside of you and not knowing, right? Being unaware. This is driven by guilt, fear, and social conditioning. It can lead to tension, headaches, insomnia, anxiety, and chronic pain. It uses denial and projection, blaming others to avoid self-awareness and taking accountability. It's the root of conflict, aggression, and social breakdown. So how do suppressed and repressed feelings affect us? It affects our nervous system, chronic fight or flight, stress, muscle tension, elevated heart rate and blood pressure, difficulty relaxing. It affects the mental health with anxiety, depression, irritability, emotional numbness or disconnection, disoriented thinking, and projection. It affects the physical health through headaches, back, neck pain, digestive issues, insomnia, weakened immune system, accelerated aging, increased disease risk. And it affects the energy life force. Emotional energy is trapped in the body. You feel drained, unmotivated, and disconnected, and you get stuck in a cycle of further suppression and repression. The second way that we avoid our feelings is through expression. So letting feelings out without letting them go. Releasing part of the feeling but suppressing the rest feels like relief but reinforces and energizes the emotion. It can cause harm in relationships. Others often feel attacked. Freud's work was misunderstood. The goal is to neutralize, not dump feelings. If we dump our negative feelings on others, they experience it as an attack, and they, in turn, are forced to suppress, express, or escape the feelings. Therefore, the expression of negativity results in the deterioration and destruction of relationships. A far better alternative is to take responsibility for your own feelings and neutralize them. Then only positive feelings remain to be expressed. David R. Hawkins says that the repressed feeling should be channeled into constructive drives of love, work, and creativity. Growing up in talk therapy, I felt like that was how we were all kind of taught to express yourself. It's you kind of like dump on others, and realizing this work now and how Freud's work was literally misunderstood and how we've kind of normalized this stuff to kind of to release yourself. It's only getting rid of partial, and it's reinforcing and re-energizing the emotion. Therefore, you kind of want to handle that feeling for yourself. And a great way that I've handled it for me in the past was writing poetry, expressing myself in a creative way. Before then, I would often dump kind of everything that I was feeling onto others. And I realized it was negatively impacting my friendships. I kept saying the same things over and over and over, and I was stuck. I was stuck in the feeling that I needed to go within and feel, but I didn't know how to kind of relieve myself from that suffering and that feeling and that emotion. The next time you're feeling like you want to just express it and dump it onto somebody else, Try to go within and feel into that feeling, or write some poetry, or draw, or do something that lights you up. The third way that we avoid our feelings is through escape. So, avoidance through distraction. I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with that one, right? So, avoidance through work, entertainment, substances, shopping, socializing keeps us unconscious and disconnected from ourselves. It eventually drains energy and halts growth and erodes relationships, leads to addictions, illnesses, and emotional isolation. Growing up and looking back at it now, I feel like escapism was kind of normalized in some ways. I remember like handing out alcohol at work. Like, what do we do? What? Why are they handing out alcohol at work? And like shopping is kind of normalized. Materialism is normalized. Scrolling on your phone is kind of like normalized. Watching movies and TV all day, every day. Is kind of essentially normalized, or it was in my experience that those are normal things to do. So I was utilizing escape without even knowing that I was utilizing that way to avoid what I was feeling. And sometimes now I catch myself and I have the awareness of like, oh, I am picking up my phone to avoid going within, to avoid what I'm feeling right now. And so I've learned how to set the phone down and go within and feel into whatever I'm trying to escape and be in the present moment. So I wanted to put this all in a chart so it makes it easy for you to understand. You could take a screenshot of it. So the three common ways we avoid our feelings. Method, suppression, repression. What is it? Push down our feelings consciously or unconsciously. The short-term effect, temporary control. The long-term cost, physical tension, illness, projection, and conflict. The second method, expression. What is it? Venting feelings outward. What are the short-term effects? Momentary relief. What are the long-term costs? Reinforces emotion and damages relationships. The third common way we avoid our feelings is escape. What is it? Distract with activities, substances, work. What are the short-term effects? Numbs discomfort. What are the long-term costs? Addiction, burnout, emotional isolation. Now that we know the three common ways that we avoid our feelings, how are we supposed to properly handle our feelings? So the alternative is letting go. This is David R. Hawkins' technique, the way to real freedom. Surrender the energy behind the feeling and you will experience instant relief. This can take practice, this can take time, but don't get frustrated. Don't try to make it go away the first time you do it, but allow it to be seen and felt. It reduces accumulated emotional pressure over time. The physical benefits of letting go is better breathing, lower tension, improved health. The emotional benefits are more love, happiness, clarity, and inner peace. Essentially, the letting go technique that David R. Hawkins teaches is feeling into that heavy sensation within your body. For me, I get it in my chest and in my stomach, but it could be in a different place for you. But when you feel those feelings, allow them to come up. And you can do this anywhere and anytime. So don't try to like force it to come up, but rather allow it to come up when it wants to come up to be healed, right? To be transmuted. And give yourself the time to feel into that feeling. And I like to take some deep breaths. And I can really feel that feeling dissipate. Earlier today, I had an experience with this. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I felt this heavy feeling within my chest and in my stomach. I was on my computer, I was doing something, I was in the middle of something, and I didn't really want to feel into my feelings, but I was like, I know that I'm being asked to right now. This is the perfect time. And I felt into that, and I didn't attach any thoughts to it, and a lot of emotions came up for me. I was just like, I could tell it was inner child work that was coming up to be transmuted and healed. And I just allowed myself to cry and allowed that version of me, that younger version of me, to be just held and felt and seen. If you're interested in learning more about this technique, I just did a video on a step-by-step walkthrough of the letting go technique by David R. Hawkins.